Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock on your Friday night. We are following two big stories this evening. Two IMPD officers injured in a shooting today while serving a warrant on the west side of Indianapolis. Both officers expected to be okay. The suspect is in custody right now. We'll take a closer look at that investigation in a moment. But we begin tonight with the full scope of this flooding paralyzing parts of Indiana. Right now, the city of Indianapolis is bracing for its impact here. In fact, in the just last few hours, Mayor Joe Hogsett declared a local state of emergency. Evacuation started in Broad Ripple. The Emergency Operations Center activated and a shelter opened for Hoosiers who need a safe space. But the White River here in Indy is now expected to crest early Saturday. We've got team coverage for you tonight. Brandon Schaff is going to be in Broad Ripple talking with people in that evacuation area. But let's begin with Rob, who's in for Angela again. And Rob, these river-related risks aren't going away, are they?
Yeah, not anytime soon, that's for sure. We are expecting the rivers to crest, to continue to crest in places like Noblesville. But for Indianapolis, we've got that crest not slated until Saturday early or around midday. In fact, I've been updating this latest information farther to the south Saturday night and then eventually Monday night. Let's talk about this area. There's a gauge at 82nd Street on the White River. This is right where the Green Bridge is, very close to Keystone at the crossing. Noblesville, by the way, did hit a record. The record was 23.8. The crest is expected at 24.5, but they're currently sitting at 24.25. That record flooding will continue moving to that 82nd Street gauge that I mentioned. Now, currently sitting at 16.95 as of the last observation, now headed for 20.5. Now look, at 19 feet, that'll happen sometime early tomorrow morning. 200 to 400 homes could be flooded by that point. These are going to be around the Rocky Ripple and the Ravenswood time frame here, the area that we're looking at. However, if we get to 20 feet, and we are forecasting that, we could see much of Ravenswood, Mystic Bay areas on both sides of Keystone Avenue, just south of 80th Street here, begin to flood. Now, there's a lot of information here. I've got all of this on the weather blog online, so you can check it all out there. Let's hope we don't get to the 21-foot mark, because that would be the highest flood since March of 1913 at that location. We've already surpassed that upstream in places like Noblesville and in Anderson. So this is the inundation that we're expecting. This is the Ravenswood area. These are the areas that we're expecting to take on water. How deep the water will be will depend on where you are. Also expecting that in the Fashion Mall Commons, the area across the street from the Fashion Mall there where the Kohl's is located. I've got also more of this information on the weather blog if you want to check it out. Now, we are expecting some rain overnight. I'm going to show you the timeline of when this batch of rain gets here coming up in just a few.
All right, Rob, thanks so much. The floodgates in Broad Ripple are just closing tonight. So this means residents in that area who have chosen to leave will no longer have access to their homes. We've got Brandon Schaff joining us live tonight. Brandon, this must be a startling reality for these people.
Hey, good evening, Scott. It is. It's an urgent situation here in Broad Ripple as they're trying to prepare for the potential floodwaters coming from the White River. We're right here on, this is 67th Street right behind me. I'm going to take you around. This is a pretty active situation right around here. This is the actual gate. You can see DPW crews have been in the area that are going to be preparing to close the gates around here. This was a voluntary evacuation from this area, which stretched throughout this section of Broad Ripple, the evacuation zone from North College Avenue to Westfield Boulevard, and from the White River down to East 67th Street, which is where we are right now. This all happening as the White River is already starting to cause flooding here in Indy. We have images of the White River in the Ravenswood area. Water was starting to push up onto the grass and toward people's homes. The city of Indianapolis saying that the White River is expected to crest at 20 feet near 82nd Street by 8 a.m. tomorrow. So people living in homes and apartments here in Broad Ripple, along with businesses, were strongly encouraged to evacuate this area. The city says that now that the gates will be closing. Once that happens, residents will no longer be able to get to their homes, and emergency crews won't be able to access the area. So I spoke with a resident in the apartments a couple of hours ago.
We just found out, I don't know, 30 minutes ago. So we're trying to figure out what's best for us to do. We live on the 5th floor, but gotta figure out where we're gonna go.
Is it stressful knowing that all of this is happening in the first place, and the potential flooding here?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mayor Joe Hogsett declared a local disaster emergency for this severe flooding. For those who need a safe place to shelter, you can go to the Washington Township Adult Center. The address is on your screen. And Marion County Emergency Management spoke earlier today. And with the flooding that we've seen throughout central Indiana, I asked if we are prepared here in Marion County for what could be coming here.
Ready to react as we need to and assist as we need to, but the key thing is this: whether it's severe weather, whether it's snow, whether it's ice, and in this case a flood. That's why we really encourage those personal family plans. Have a good emergency plan. Know what you're going to do.
And Spence says that if you're concerned about all of the potential flooding, and you're able to leave your home, now is the time to do so. His message to the public: things can be replaced, but people can't. That is the take-home message here. Now, with the river expected to crest at 8 a.m., the number that you can text for flooding updates overnight into tomorrow, that number is on your screen, and we've also posted it online at WTHR.com. Reporting here in Broad Ripple, Brandon Sheff, 13 News. Back
All
to
right,
you.
Brandon, thanks so much. And we've got this local state of emergency here in our city tonight. And Indiana Governor Mike Braun is now requesting a presidential emergency declaration through FEMA. The governor is set to meet with Homeland Security leaders and talk about our state's response and recovery efforts at 3 tomorrow afternoon. So be sure and check in with us tomorrow for that update. Now I want to take you to Yorktown. This is where officers found a woman's body in the floodwaters. They believe she tried to drive through moving water that covered a road in this area. They tell us the water swept away her car. So we can't stress enough how dangerous these conditions can be. And that's why any break in this rain is a good thing. And it's allowed some Hoosiers a first look at what's left of their homes. So we shot this drone video in Yorktown today. Look at all this water. Look how high the river was yesterday. We talked to the property owners in this area who were left stunned by the flooding.
As you can see, the river has already receded, so that's a good sign. In my 55 years, I've never seen anything like it. So hopefully, they say it's the 100-year storm. Hopefully we never see anything like it again.
You can also see the floodwaters at the Yorktown Public Library. The library shared some photos with us tonight. Take a look at this. You can see some of the books and the furniture that is underwater right now. Now I want to take you to Hamilton County. This is where some people are out of their homes right now because of the high water. The flooding also shut down major roads across the county. This video here shows what's left of State Road 19. This is west of downtown Noblesville. Look at that car. The people there know the significance of these floods. It's why so many people left the area. But we also saw people walking around, taking it all in. First responders are reminding everyone to avoid the high water and don't hesitate to reach out for help if you need it. And remember, you can monitor these weather conditions on our WTHR streaming app. You can also check out our interactive radar. Plus, our weather team will be there live anytime severe weather is in your neighborhood. Just be sure and download the free app on your TV. Well, tonight, 2 IMPD officers are now recovering after a shootout today with a suspect on the west side of Indianapolis. That suspect is now in custody. Our Alex Almanza joins us live from the newsroom tonight. Alex, what led up to this shooting?
Scott, IMPD says they were serving a narcotics warrant to a man on North Fleming Street. That's east of Thatcher Park. When cops arrived at the home, IMPD says a man immediately started shooting them and continued firing shots toward officers for several minutes. One of the IMPD officers who was shot Friday afternoon is now out of the hospital. His fellow officer is still being cared for by doctors. IMPD says the two are expected to be okay. The shooting adds to the 5 IMPD officers shot this year, 4 of them in just the past 3 weeks. Chief Tanya Terry says she didn't expect to be here again so quickly.
You might say that we are lucky that our officers once again are going to be able to walk out of here and go home to their families.
The suspect also walked away, injured but in police custody. IMPD says he's at the hospital and is expected to be okay. People who were near the scene took shelter during the gunfire.
I heard like 5 gunshots. It was like pop, 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 pop. So I said, man, there's gunshots out there.
Justin Hubbs was doing yard work for a friend when it all went down. He alerted the homeowner and then took cover.
It sounded like it was like right next door. So I went inside and I sat in the kitchen floor for about 25 minutes because I didn't want to catch an errant bullet or anything, you know what I mean?
Now the work continues for investigators, piecing together what has become a crime scene. Fraternal Order of Police President Rick Snyder says it's a reminder of what officers risk every day.
I think most people would say I'd never do that for $1 million, and they do it for a heck of a lot less. And all they ask in return is for a justice system that will follow on with the work that they're doing.
And a community that says thank you. IMPD has not released the name of that suspect. As for that West Side neighborhood, tonight police say there's no threat to the public. Of course, we'll continue to follow any new details as soon as we get them. Scott?
So glad those officers are going to be okay. Alex, thank you so much. An Indianapolis man featured on FBI's most wanted list tonight is in custody. The agency is now confirming that they found 46-year-old Gregory Henderson in Mississippi, one day after he was put on that list. This is video of the feds raiding his alleged operation back in 2023. They seized dozens of dogs, dogfighting equipment, and guns. And that's on top of the cocaine, meth, and fentanyl investigators say Henderson moved for one of the biggest drug cartels in the world. He just made his first appearance in federal court today.